Happy 2025, Zach.
It's 2025, and that means it's time for the Patreon Q&A for January.
All right, let's answer some questions.
Yes, all of these questions were asked to us by the Patreon members that are Buddy Chicken tier or higher. And if you would like to answer.
If you want us to answer the questions that you have given us, then answer. I can't speak either.
I can't speak. Neither of us can talk anymore. If you would like to ask us questions, then all you have to do is join the Patreon at Buddy Chicken tier or higher. And then you can ask us all of the burning questions that you have about whatever.
Such as the following. First question. Did you both have a great Christmas and New Year's with your partners?
Yes.
My Christmas was good. And my New Year's was good until a couple days later when I had to go in for emergency surgery because my gallbladder wasn't working right. All the way through the end of 2024, it was really good. I had a good time.
What do you mean? That's not the most fun thing in the world for you, getting emergency gallbladder surgery?
It was post New Year's. Like January 2 doesn't count as New Year's anymore. So my New Year's was still good. It was not a good start to the next year, but my New Year's, the celebration itself was good.
I had a very good Christmas and New Year with my wife. So yes, I did.
Have you ever considered how surreal it is that Fallout New Vegas and the channel are partially the reason you met your spouse? I would say it's not all that surreal. I'd say the real surreal thing is the fact that people meet online at all, because you think back, and our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents going on for generations, they had to meet up with people in person, but online dating, app dating, that's a recently developed thing. Just staring at a small box in your hand and meeting people. Like, that's surreal when you think about it.
It's good that online dating has become less of a stigma than it used to be, because I remember back when I was dating, which thank fucking God I'm not doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back when I was online dating, that was like one of the points of conversation was, what are we going to tell people if this works out instead of we met online?
Like it was something to be embarrassed about.
Yeah, like it was embarrassing that you met somebody online.
There was a brief window of opportunity between like 2008 and like 2018 where app dating and online dating actually worked, but now all the online dating is all owned by one company and they don't actually match you with people because it's more beneficial for them financially to milk you into buying Tinder Premium and Tinder Black and stuff like that.
A lot of people aren't going to remember this, but OkCupid actually used to be really cool. Because it used to have a bunch of things on there where it would ask you a ton of questions. So like the match rating actually meant something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had weekly or monthly blog posts that they would do about like how people had answered questions and like what the data on like all these questions, how it all went together. It was really actually very, very interesting and really cool. And they don't do that shit anymore because now it's just a Grindr clone. How did you two meet and when will you return to the Commonwealth? We met in high school.
That was a good 20 years ago.
Yep.
A little over 20 years ago. Yep. And when will we return to the Commonwealth in Fallout 4? Probably after we do a bit more of
Probably never.
Fallout London. And we'll probably take a break in between that and the Commonwealth to do some Fallout New Vegas. But yeah, I would like to see the Fallout 4 DLCs, and I know there are a lot more mods out there. If nothing else, we got to see the DLCs, because I'm told Far Harbor is really good. I have not played it yet, though.
I can't believe you've never played Far Harbor.
Well, can you blame me? Fallout 4 was kind of disappointing. In your opinion, who is the best companion in Fallout? Personally, I love Rex. He's a good boy. I made an entire tier list on my favorite companions in Fallout, so I'll link to that in the description, but what about you, Zach? Your favorite companion in the Fallout series? Hard to top Nick Valentine. Nick Valentine's really good.
Yeah, but you can't sleep with Nick Valentine.
I mean, you could put him in a bed and then lay next to him.
That doesn't count. I guess I like Ada.
No, I was gonna guess Piper for you, but Ada's nice. I know you like Ada because she doesn't criticize you for picking up random garbage.
Yep, I like her voice. I think Ada is cool. I kind of like the funny clunky body she has when you first start the game, or when you first
start the mod. Yeah, not mod, the DLC.
The DLC. Yeah, I like Ada, and I also like that she doesn't. That whenever you pick up stuff, she's like, "Oh yeah, that'll be useful later," and it isn't like, "What's that for?" or "You should get rid of that. It's trash." And it's just like, your entire gameplay loop is around me picking up shit to make new things. So stop criticizing me when I pick up shit.
Mm-hmm. It's all supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, but I can see how you might take it personally.
It just gets annoying when they do it over and over again. Yeah, it's like, it's fine when it's tongue-in-cheek and they do it occasionally, But when every single time you pick up an item, they're telling you that it's junk and you should throw it away, it's like, all right, stop.
It should be the kind of bark that's once a day, maybe. So who are your top 3? If Ada's number 1, is it Piper number 2?
Then it's probably Cass.
Ah, all right.
But that's just because I like Cass, though she does kind of have edgelord tendencies.
Yeah.
Um,
She's rough around the edges. I like it.
yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Those
okay.
two.
Sure.
Those two.
All right. Zach, what has been the favorite mod that I have surprised you with? And also, Mike, what has been the favorite mod that I have inflicted on Zach?
My wife said that her favorite one was Mr. X and a thong.
Yeah, basically everything from the Resident Evil 2 playthrough that we did, all those mods, Ada in the bunny outfit and Claire in the Santa outfit, Shrek from the Resident Evil 3 playthrough. A lot of fun Resident Evil mods.
That one didn't really work for you because
No.
you installed it and then he only was there for like half a second.
Still, the end of the Resident Evil playthrough where he's on the title screen and you gut busted laughing for a full minute. Like, that was worth it, though.
My personal favorite ones are probably Platform Goliath and Buddy Chicken.
I'm glad you like Platform Goliath. I put a lot of effort into him.
I like Platform Goliath. I thought he was a lot of fun.
I also liked old guy John from Balls the Talking Dog. The way he just exploded and he started screaming. They caught you off guard. I like that a lot.
If you were in charge of rearming a Fallout verse Elbonia with Fallout weaponry, but you were a secret Nebonia sympathizer, what would you pick? So, Mike, are you familiar? Mike, you are not familiar with the concept of Elbonia.
I am not, no.
Elbonia is a thing that was created by Ian from Forgotten Weapons, and it's Elbonia is a fictional country, and it's a thought exercise in picking something that is trash, but not the most trash. Basically, the thought exercise is you are the Minister of Defense for the nation of Elbonia, but you're a secret sympathizer to a different cause.
Okay, so you're in
So
charge
you're trying to pick a weapon
to sabotage them.
to sabotage them, but it can't be too shit, because if it's too shit, you'll get killed by the Elbonians.
Okay.
But if it's too good, you'll get killed by the sympathizers for the other cause because you actually gave them a good weapon. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay.
So if you had to rearm a Fallout verse Elbonia with Fallout weaponry, what would I pick?
Okay, yeah. The one that immediately comes to mind is the mini nuke launcher, but that could actually do a lot of damage, so...
Yeah, and like,
It can cause backfiring and they die hilariously, but it can also do so much damage.
I can see what you're thinking on that, because yeah, if you give everyone mini nuke launchers, it's like, what the fuck are they gonna do when something is 2 feet away from them? But also, you just gave them all mini nuke launchers, you stupid idiot.
Exactly, yeah.
My initial thought was the assault rifle from Fallout 4.
Just because you don't like the aesthetic?
Because
it functions well enough.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stupid. This thing is massive. It's huge. And yeah, it still works. I might still go with the Fallout 4 assault rifle because it's this gigantic heavy piece. It's like a 25-pound 5.56 rifle. It doesn't need to weigh that much. It doesn't need to be that big. It's incredibly complicated. It's very dumb. The problem is it might be too shit.
Why is it tube shit? This is not
because
good.
it's really bad. Because it's
Okay.
really bad. It would be like you're in charge of outfitting all of the vehicles for the Elbonian military, and you pick like the Ford Pinto. It's just like what? It's too crappy. I guess maybe the Fallout 3 combat shotgun, because it's like that thing has a 2-inch long barrel on it.
You don't think it's going to be very effective?
No, I think
No.
the Fallout 3 combat shotgun is terrible.
Too
It
much-
doesn't make any sense the way that thing is designed.
Okay, fair enough. I actually do have a good answer for this because I recently played through a Fallout Quest mod using Two-Step Goodbye. Have you ever used that weapon? It's a vanilla weapon. It's basically a power fist, but every time you punch an enemy, there's a good chance that they'll detonate in a couple seconds.
Oh,
So every time you hit an enemy, they'll fall over and be dead. Hooray, you win the fight, but also 2 seconds later, beep, beep, kaboom, and they explode, and they're usually so close to you that every time I would punch them and they die, they would also cripple my leg. So you're now relying on a melee weapon that slows down your ability to close the distance between you and the enemy. So that's my answer. Arm everybody with Two-Step Goodbye, and then they'll all sabotage themselves and break their own legs.
that seems like a really, really bad idea, and you would immediately be killed by the Nebonians. The Nebonians.
For even suggesting it?
You'd immediately be killed by the Albonian military for suggesting it, and then later be dug up and killed again by the Nebonians for giving them an exploding weapon.
No, it's the brilliance of it, because you introduce this weapon and you try it out on a couple of random things, and you think, oh man, this is amazing. You don't, and then eventually you're in like a close proximity, or you're in tight hallways. Like, if you're out in the open and you're punching him and their body goes flying, hooray! But if you're in like a close quarters combat scenario and you punch him into the wall and the body drops in front of you, that's when you start to realize that it's a bad weapon. So I started using this weapon yesterday, had a great time with it for about half an hour, and then I started going into some urban areas, some urban clearing, and yeah, I had to pop a lot of stim packs because my leg kept on getting broken.
Also, it's the fact that you just gave an entire military a melee weapon, which is a really bad idea. You're not the Legion. Why are you giving everyone melee weapons? Guns exist.
Yeah, but do guns make people explode?
Yes, they're called grenade launchers.
Okay. Well, fine. Crap all over my pick.
Would you ever consider doing any Elden Ring co-op mod content? Night Rain is coming out in the future. We could probably do that.
Yeah, we could. I have struggled with Elden Ring several times, but I always enjoy playing a game with you. So even if it's a game I'm not good at, I could have a really good time with you.
Well, Night Rain is going to be, it's like fixed builds.
Okay.
It's kind of rogue-like, and it's in the way it's played, and it is multiplayer, so you don't have to mod the game to play it multiplayer.
Okay.
We could look into doing that.
Yes, we would consider that. Yeah. Are there any physical bits that were your favorite? Stuff that we couldn't really see? Aside from the moment where Zach smacked himself in the testicles and then I turned it into a bit, I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about the time I hit myself in the balls. What was I doing?
You were doing this.
Oh, I was drumming on the front of the chair,
Yeah.
and then like my thumb hit myself in the testicles
Yeah.
because I'm stupid. Have you looked into mods for The Long Dark? The game has a strong modding community around it, and there are a number of mods that would address some of Zach's issues with survival mode. I haven't really looked into any mods for it. I don't see any reason to mod the survival mode of The Long Dark. I don't really have issues with the survival mode.
It does
of
have a
Long
lot
Dark.
of options built in, so you can customize the difficulty to your liking.
Yeah, I don't really have any issues with the survival mode of The Long Dark. I just don't like survival crafting games.
Yeah, and that's fair.
The Long Dark is the rare exception. I like the hunter-gatherer aspect of The Long Dark.
And the urban exploration of these abandoned buildings.
I like the hunter-gatherer aspect of The Long Dark as opposed to the go-punch-trees nature of games like The Forest, or 7 Days to Die, or other survival crafting games.
Mm-hmm.
Not to belabor it, but like the thing I like about The Long Dark is that when you start a new game of The Long Dark, you immediately go start exploring to try to find stuff that you need. You don't just make a beeline for the nearest tree and then punch it repeatedly.
To get bark, so you can make a house.
To get bark so that you can turn that bark into thatch, so that you can turn that thatch into a roof, so that you can make a pickaxe. Anyway.
You're gonna go on a big old survival crafting rant if we don't stop there.
Nope.
So have we looked into mods? I actually have looked into mods for The Long Dark. I don't feel like there's a centralized place for all of the mods. There's a couple here and a couple there, and none of them really appealed to me from what I saw. There's probably a few out there that I would like, but I haven't found them, haven't stumbled upon them yet. So, are the two of you ever going to do a series where you play a roguelike similar to Vampire Survivor or Binding of Isaac?
Possibly. It would depend on what game it is.
Didn't you and I already play some of Vampire Survivor?
I think we did play Vampire Survivor at one point.
We do have a video of that on the channel. We also
Yeah.
played Dead Cells, that was a roguelike, and Inscription and Alina of the Arena, those are card battling roguelikes. So we've done roguelikes on the channel before. And FTL, that's a roguelike too.
Yeah.
So
We've done a few of them, yeah. I'm sure we'll do more in the future. It just, depends on what game it is. If you had, I know the two of you aren't fond of showing your faces, but if you had the tech, would you want to do motion capture bits for your videos or straight up acting out scenes? If we had the tech for that, sure.
Yeah, and the time to learn how to use the tech.
But it's any of that like motion capture stuff is not cheap.
Right. I mean, I did a little bit of something similar when we were playing the Frontiers, the NCR campaign, and I have little like audience members bobbing around, our heads bobbing around. If you remember that.
You did stuff with puppets.
Yeah, and I did puppetry, which is kind of the same thing.
Which was funny.
I've thought about doing some kind of motion capture bits, and even like having like the stream avatars.
The problem with motion capture stuff is you have to learn you got to learn Blender. Or
Yeah.
something to animate it.
I mean,
so.
to be fair, I spent a lot of time learning 3ds Max 20 years ago, so I could probably figure it out, but it does take time.
Yeah.
Time that I just don't have. Can we get a look behind the curtain and see the recording setup you guys are using right now? No. Denied. I'm embarrassed at how messy everything is. But let me paint you a picture. We've got the monitors and we got the computer tower on the table. And then behind them, we've got a Batman poster and a Nuka Girl poster from Fallout. So just try to imagine that's what it looks like. Will you guys ever play Baldur's Gate 3 on the channel? Or if you played it, what did you all think? Have you played Baldur's Gate 3?
I played a bit of Baldur's Gate 3. I couldn't really connect with the combat in the game.
Me neither. No, I had a tough time with that.
It was just kind of a bummer. I've heard a lot of really good things about the story. It seems like a really fun game. I had a very, very hard time getting into it.
So I played the entire first act. I think there's 3 acts in that game, and I played through the first act. Like, it took me like 10 hours. And it's good. I like the different... I think I played through a bit of it a couple times, so I've seen a couple different ways the introduction can play out. I think it's a great game, but I agree with Zach in the sense that I'm not good at that kind of combat game where you gotta like pick from 30 different abilities and then 50, and then you keep unlocking more, and you have to click on the buttons while they're cooling down. The whole thing was very complex, more so than I really liked. I did like the story, and I stopped not because I didn't like what I was doing, but I was having such a good time that I thought, man, I really wish I could play this with a second player. And I was just kind of I was a little sad that I was playing through it by myself, because it seems like a great game to play with a friend. But yeah, I didn't have anyone to play with, and again, I do not like the combat.
Do you play any trading card games like Magic, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh? If so, what kind of decks have you played? If not, do you think you would ever give them a try?
Oh yeah, we played games like that before.
Yeah, I used to play a lot more of. I don't really play Magic very much anymore. Mike used to play the Yu Yu Hakusho
I actually had
card game.
I played quite a few of those TCGs. I think I started with the Pokemon TCG. I remember trading cards with somebody at my grandparents' cottage, and I got a whole binder full of cards. And same thing for Yu Yu Hakusho. Back when I was really into that show, I collected the cards for that for a while until the power creep got way out of hand. I never played Magic myself, although I did play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Game Boy Advance. There was a Game Boy Advance Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that I played, honestly, way too much. Outside of that, I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh! But I just played that one Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG video game for the Game Boy Advance a lot. And I know that doesn't narrow it down because there's like a dozen of them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was crazy popular, but there was one Yu-Gi-Oh! Game on the Game Boy Advance that I played almost nonstop for a long time. So outside of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Yu Yu Hakusho, I don't think I have played anything else.
MTG is pretty much the only one that I played extensively. I generally play like black or black-white decks, and I think I had like 1 or 2 blue decks. I still have like a black Eldrazi deck that I update occasionally, but most of my decks are not very good. I pretty much just build them based off of whether or not I think the cards look cool or they fit a specific theme.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of my decks are not very good.
And for me, honestly, it's been so long since I played those card games that I can't even remember what types of decks I played. I imagine if I was playing Pokemon, it'd probably be like a Charizard deck, but I don't remember the specifics. It's been a long time. Do either of you play tabletop RPGs? No, I've not done that.
I used to play a tabletop game that was based in the Strands of Fate rule set, which I actually really liked.
Is that the one that had all the tanks, or is that a different one?
No, the Strands of Fate rule set is the so you know how in D&D you have a bunch of different die. You've got like a 4-sided die, and then 6 and 8 and D20 and blah blah blah. And
various dice.
Yeah, and then it's all like very heavily rule based for how certain things are done. Strands of Fate uses 4 what are called fudge dice, and it's basically it's a 6-sided die that has plus, minus, and neutral on it.
Okay.
And whenever you roll those, it's whatever each one is adds or subtracts to your score.
All right.
It's kind of more based on storytelling. At least when we played it, it was more based on storytelling than rule set, which I generally preferred. Yeah, so that was the tabletop that I've played the most of. I have played D&D before. I'm not a huge fan of it.
No.
Not that it's bad. I just
didn't appeal to you.
Yeah. It's a lot of dice and a lot of rule set stuff that you have to keep track of.
Yeah.
And it made me feel very stupid.
Gotcha.
Have either of you played League of Legends or plan on playing it? If not, keep it that way, please.
Yeah, I've never played League of Legends. Never had an inkling to.
I used to play League of Legends. I played Lissandra, Jinx. Sometimes I played Teemo. I stopped playing it for the same reason everyone stops playing it.
I've heard nothing but negative things about it.
Yep. Yeah. I stopped playing it for the exact same reason everyone else stops playing the game.
Mm-hmm. My sympathies to anyone who's still stuck playing it out of addiction, because get some help. Are there any games that you enjoy but didn't work as a video, or wouldn't work as a video, I suppose? Well, you and I tried to play a Telltale game, but that was kind of on autopilot for like the first 15 minutes. We tried to play Tales from the Borderland, which was the Telltale Borderlands game. And I still think it's a great game, but yeah, you and I sat down to play it, and the first 15 minutes, it felt like you and I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
They're kind of like a visual novel.
Yeah.
The problem with playing any games like that is it's either going to be we're talking over the game the entire time, and then people who are big fans of the game are going to be really annoyed because we're talking over the game the entire time. Or we don't say anything, and then people who are really big fans of the channel are like, why aren't they saying anything?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the game. I want to watch them say stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like we're not actually contributing in that sense.
So it's kind of just like there's kind of no winning with
any of those styles of games.
Trying to make that into a video.
I do feel like when it comes to those kinds of games, the first Walking Dead Telltale game had pretty good pacing. There was a lot of downtime where we could watch the scene play out and then, comment on it afterward. But a lot of the other games, including Tales from the Borderland, it's a lot more of a movie that you occasionally interact with. So the pacing is much, much faster, which didn't leave a lot for us to work with.
I'm also incapable of doing anything involving the Borderlands series without immediately devolving into a frothing mess at my hatred for it.
You and I had a pretty good time for the first 15 minutes. We didn't hate it. We just stopped because it wasn't making for a good video.
I just don't like Borderlands.
I know you don't like Borderlands. You were willing to give that a shot, though. You were willing to give it a shot.
Well, my hatred for Borderlands was a lot less then because I didn't have as much Eldritch knowledge as I do now.
Yes.
For me, Bloodborne or Dark Souls, because I don't think I could handle watching Mike play them. The urge to backseat would absolutely kill me.
Fair enough. I was not very good at those kinds of games, so
I would probably start breaking things because I would just be like, "What are you doing? Why didn't you parry?"
No, absolutely, you would. You'd be upset at how awful I am at those games.
It's like I love Bloodborne. I love Bloodborne. Unless it is like 2 or 3 different streamers, I cannot watch them play Bloodborne because I just start yelling at my TV. Like, I cannot watch someone do a first playthrough of Bloodborne because I start losing my mind.
Oof, yeah. They can't figure out the button to heal, so you're just watching them. Use the flask! Use the flask! And they use the flask, but it's the mana flask, and you go, no! Any other games that I enjoy but won't work as a video? Basically anything that's music-based. Any of those rhythm games that would be immediately hit with copyrights? Yeah.
Yeah, that won't work as a video because of the music.
Mm-hmm. So you won't see Guitar Hero on the channel.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure there are more games that wouldn't work, but yeah, that
driving games maybe.
We're not gonna play Desert Bus.
Yeah, I don't think driving games would make great channel content unless maybe we were doing BeamNG and you have to follow all traffic laws or something.
You talking about racing games or?
Yeah, like racing games. I don't think would make very good.
No, it would be difficult to turn that into an entertaining video. Oh man, the worst option in that category I think would be a game that I had back in my Nintendo 64 days. My mom got me NASCAR 98. So imagine how fun racing games normally are.
Yeah, NASCAR 98 where you drive in a loop.
For literally 500 laps? Like you're actually playing a NASCAR race? Yeah, that's something you could do.
Only tangentially related to that, you I forget which Forza it was. It was one of the Forzas on the Xbox 360. You could set up a race, and then you could have literally it be entirely NPCs. So there were a couple times where I was like, I don't know what I want to get for dinner. So I would just set up like a 3-lap race and name each one of the NPCs after, or like say what each one of the NPCs, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, go. All right, McDonald's won. That's where we're going.
Oh, damn it. Cooking at home won. I hated that.
Fuck. Why do I even make that an option? Are there any real-time strategy games that you two enjoy playing? And if so, do you have any good recommendations? No, because I don't like real-time strategy games.
Pikmin? That counts.
Is Pikmin a real-time strategy?
It's an RTS. It's like baby's first RTS, right? I mean, it kind of is, isn't it?
I guess it's an RTS.
What other category would you qualify it as?
What is the game Overlord? What category is the game Overlord?
I've not played Overlord. I don't know.
Action role-playing game? I guess Pikmin's an action role-playing game.
That's such a generic, broad category.
That's like the most broad category that you possibly could have. I don't know. I can't think of any real-time strategy games that like I enjoy playing.
I think Pikmin would be the closest that would fall into that category for me. I have played strategy games and tactical strategy games and turn-based strategy games, but real-time strategy games, a couple of tower defense games that I grew up with.
Yeah, I can't really think of any.
FTL, I mean, does that count as real-time strategy? Yeah. But not like in the classical sense of like Zerg Rush games and Dota.
I don't particularly like... no, because Dota's a MOBA
I don't know, I've
game.
never played those games.
I don't particularly like StarCraft. I don't really like World of Warcraft. Or not World of War... just Warcraft. Sorry, not World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is the
online
MMORPG.
Thing, yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any good recommendations. StarCraft.
I guess.
That's it.
It must be popular for a reason. Have either of you ever been into visual novels? And I got a recommendation for Katawa Shouju was the first one I ever read. It hit me right in the heart.
I haven't really played many visual novel games. I'm aware of Katawa Shouju. Do the Telltale games count as visual novels?
No,
I think I literally said that a minute ago.
They're not visual novels. No, it's more of a point-and-click genre, that. As for myself, I have played of visual novels. Some of the earliest videos on the channel are me playing through a visual novel, but I'm not big into that category. Most visual novels that I do end up playing are subversions of the genre, so Slay the Princess and what's the other one? Doki Doki Revolution Panic, something like that.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
I don't
one.
know where you got Revolution Panic from.
I don't know. It's always referred to by the 4 letters, DDLR or whatever.
It's a new version. It's a new version where you play as Karl Marx and you must free the proletariat.
I was gonna imagining a visual novel where you're playing a Dance Dance Revolution machine, but yours is better.
You play as a cute anime girl version of Karl Marx, and you have to free the proletariat.
That works.
But in order to free the proletariat, you also have to go into the back end of your computer and delete System 32.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no other visual novels in my mind.
What did you think of Alien Romulus?
It's a movie, right? I haven't seen it.
Yep. It's the most recent Alien movie.
I heard good things about it.
I'm sorry if I sound weird this episode. My throat is really, like, I did something to my voice recently.
No one would have noticed if you hadn't mentioned it. I didn't notice.
Somebody would have noticed. I thought that the guy who played the android did an amazing job. Kind of like how in Prometheus and Covenant, the best part of those 2 movies was the person that played the android. I thought it started well enough, but ultimately I felt like they just kind of rehashed Alien and Aliens and Alien 3.
Just kind of rehashed the same formula.
Yeah,
huh?
pretty much.
Huh.
I didn't really like it.
Okay.
Zach's hot takes. I think that the Alien movies begin with Alien
And end with Alien 2.
and end with Alien 3.
Oh, okay.
I think Alien 3 looks amazing. It looks so good. It is not a great movie, though.
But it gets in because it looks good.
It looks really, really good. But it's... Man, it's disappointing. It's one of those things that I've said this before. I'm amazed that they let David Fincher have a career after Alien 3.
Yeah?
I'm amazed that they let him make movies after Alien 3.
As long as it made money, I'm assuming it made money.
No, it really didn't. And he also took his name. It's one of the movies that's directed by Alan Smithy because he took his name off it.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I'm so mad about this, I'm taking my name off of it. Anyway, to answer your question, I didn't particularly care for Alien Romulus. I felt like they just kind of rehashed the previous Alien movies.
Gotcha. Have either of you seen Generation Kill? And if so, what did you think of its portrayal of the USMC and the early Iraq War? I have not seen it. I don't watch movies.
It's a HBO miniseries. It's very good, and I think it's actually, for the most part, it's very accurate in terms of depicting how fucking boring combat is. It's a whole lot of nothing happening. Yeah, Generation Kill is very good. It's, for the most part, it's very accurate.
Would you recommend it as a movie to watch, or I guess a miniseries?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would. If you could live in any fictional world like Fallout, Pokemon, Avatar, etc., just as a regular civilian in that world, what would it be?
Probably not Fallout, Pokemon, or Avatar. Although Pokemon does sound fun, it does feel like their entire economy and way of life revolves around temperamental animals that will kill you in the blink of an eye if you don't have enough badges. So maybe that's a bit riskier.
Well, in the first game, yeah, but like if you just look at it as the wider thing of they're just friends.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Most of the fictional worlds that I enjoy playing through as a work of fiction, I wouldn't want to actually live in. Fallout in particular, I wouldn't want to live in the Fallout universe. Hell no. but like the most pleasant fictional world would probably be a world meant for children where everything is happy, sunshine, and not awful all the time. So it probably would be a show I didn't watch.
Yeah, I can tell you exactly one reason why you wouldn't want to live in the world of Fallout.
Because it's an apocalyptic nightmare world?
Name at one point where you find a dentist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do have technology that can completely reshape your body in the blink of an eye, though, so that's interesting. So
Yeah, but where's the dentists?
maybe that's the same machine. Transform me into a version of myself that doesn't have dental pain.
Oh, I'm sorry. All we can do is transform your face.
We can only shape your...
Instantaneously with with nothing else that needs to be done afterwards.
We can only shape your teeth. We can't actually make them not hurt.
I want to live in the world of Tailspin.
Tailspin, the 90s, the 80s or 90s Disney cartoon?
Yeah, the 90s Disney cartoon. I want to live in the world of Tailspin.
Driving a
I want
seaplane.
to own a funny seaplane and fly around delivering stuff.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I want to live in the world of Tailspin. And yes, I know that there are sky pirates. However, counter argument, there are sky pirates. How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, they're incompetent. Don Carnage, you think he's an actual threat?
No. Just get dual Vickers guns on the side of your airplane. There you go. Give me a PBY Catalina. Give me a couple door gunners. That guy's never going to be a problem again.
I'm surprised you chose that as an option, but I like that option. It's a good option.
I would absolutely live in the world of Tailspin. That would be so much fun.
I was imagining that you were going to suggest something like Japari Park, which sounds like it might be a nice place to go.
I don't know if I would want to live in the world of Kimono Friends because there are no humans.
You could be the first.
Well, no, technically Kaban is the first, quote unquote.
I don't know anything about that universe. It just seemed like that's the kind of thing. I see nothing but cuteness and happiness, and like the biggest conflict is, oh no, maybe they don't like me, or maybe there's a misunderstanding that'll be resolved in 20 minutes. Like something like that wouldn't be the worst place to live.
I don't know, man. Those Ceruleans are pretty mean.
I'll take your word on that. Mike, do you have any interests as consuming as Zach's interest in guns? I don't know. It's a pretty big interest. I don't know if I have any specific fixations on anything the way Zach. Well, not say you're like singularly fixated on guns, but
it's one of many interests.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if I've got that kind of passion for any one particular subject. I think the closest would be something video game related, but yeah, it's not nearly as passionate as you are about some topics like guns.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Live anywhere in the world. Well, if you put aside the fact that I like being where my support network is with family and friends and everything, if it were just me and I had to pick where I was living, I guess I'd be basing it on nice weather. So I remember when I was living in California, that was nice. But I know there are other places that I haven't been to that have even better weather. I don't know, there are a lot of places that I haven't visited because I haven't gone on enough vacations. But around the world,
I kind of want to live in the mountains,
like a hermit.
Like maybe in Montana. Maybe living in like the Southwest would be nice. I live in Finland.
You said the Southwest of America, like Nevada? It's kind of hot down there.
Whatever. It's dry heat.
I mean, I said California, which is pretty similar, pretty close by. I liked the weather that I enjoyed while I was there.
Finland.
It's kind of
Switzerland.
Kind of cold up there in the Nordic countries.
I would live in Finland or Switzerland. Have you ever ran across a gun that you could not fix in your civilian career either due to user error or something else?
Yes, because I don't know much about guns. But what about you?
I mean, I don't generally need to fix guns that are not mine. Because like when I work at the gun shop that I work at, I'm more of doing like sales.
Right. I'm assuming they're asking if it was more like back when you were an armorer or a small arms.
No, because he said civilian career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The one that immediately comes to mind is the ATI Omni, which is a polymer upper and polymer lower AR-15. I've had several people bring them in, and they're like, "Oh, I want to change the barrel," or they want to change the handguard on it or something. And I basically just have to be like, "Well, do you want to buy a whole new AR-15? Because this thing's a piece of shit." I literally have had people bring in an ATI Omni. And they're like, "Oh, it doesn't cycle properly. I don't know what's wrong with it." And I look at it, and the lower receiver is cracked and is about to explode.
Wow.
And it's just like, yeah, this gun's trash, man. I don't know how to tell you this, but your gun is actually garbage. Like, it is literally only useful as a paperweight now.
Get this thing out of here. It's gross looking.
It is actually trash, and you need to throw it away and buy a whole new gun.
Wow.
It would be like if someone were to, if you as a mechanic someone brought you their car and they said, hey, my car is making a weird noise. Can you fix it for me? And you went to look at it, and it literally was just a absolutely rusted through metal frame with 4 wheels on it and a blender as an engine. And you would just be like, you have to get a new car, man.
Yeah.
Why? This one works fine, though.
To repair it would cost more than actually getting a new vehicle.
Yeah. Don't buy an ATI Omni. Don't do it. Never buy an ATI Omni.
Right.
If you absolutely have to get a polymer lower AR-15, get the KE Arms KP-15. Do not buy an AR with a polymer upper. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. There is no reason to buy an AR with a polymer upper.
There you go. That's a recommendation. Zach, what do you recommend for people wanting to get into gunsmithing who are stupid, like me?
Don't go into gunsmithing.
I'm not that stupid. I can figure it out.
No, don't, like, straight up, don't go into gunsmithing. Don't do it.
Why not? You worried that I'll come for your job?
No, because every other gunsmith is worried you'll come for their job, so they won't hire you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gunsmiths just straight up will not hire you as a gunsmith apprentice. They won't do it.
What if I didn't want to do it as like a job? What if I wanted to do it as a hobby? What if I like guns and I want to do gunsmithing?
I mean, good luck finding work anywhere. Become a machinist. Go to college for machining.
Print and stamp the receivers that'll become guns. Don't actually get into gunsmithing.
No, go to college for machining, because gun companies are way more likely to hire a machinist than they are to hire a gunsmith.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, learn how to use a lathe, learn how to use a mill, learn how to use a CNC machine. Don't go to school for gunsmithing. Don't go to Sonoran Desert Institute. God, don't fucking go to Sonoran Desert Institute. Don't do it.
It's no Sonoran Desert.
Yeah, they're supposedly a online gunsmithing school.
Oh.
They just rip everybody off. If you got a gunsmith certification from somewhere, it would be kind of along the same lines as like you got a blacksmith certification. Who's hiring blacksmiths?
Yeah.
Gun shops are not hiring gunsmiths for the most part. And if they are, they want you to have a bunch of certification that says that you've done like this, all this different stuff. And then gunsmiths generally are not hiring another gunsmith to work with them. If you are a competent machinist or decent at engineering, you can get a job working for a gun company. But,
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, don't go to college for gunsmithing. Mike, if you could be reborn in any time period, what would it be?
Does it have to be a time period that already existed? Because I imagine the future would be pretty cool. You know, things are always getting better. You know, they you know, if you get a disease, it's more likely to be curable in the future than it is right now, or maybe almost completely eradicated. So, a time period in the future would be ideal, but you have to be careful because you don't know. If you go too far into the future, we may have hit the Fermi paradox and we've wiped ourselves out. So, I don't know how far into the future I would want to go. We'll say like 30 years. We'll probably still be around and doing well in 30 years, is my guess. Probably doing better than we are right now.
That's a dumb answer. What Mike wanted to say was he wanted to be born in the 1300s so that he could die of the Black Plague.
What is your go-to strategy to keep your sanity? It feels like everything is going to be garbage these days.
Focus on the things that you can control. Take care of yourself and love the people close to you.
Good advice.
Do what you can to keep yourself and them happy, and try not to worry about the things you can't control.
That last part is in particular a really good piece of advice. Like if something is out of your control, don't obsess over it too much. Do what you can to improve things around you, but understand that not everything is going to be in your control.
Yeah.
A lot of what I do to keep my sanity personally is just focus on doing what I enjoy doing. I like making videos, so I spend a lot of time making videos. Sometimes a bit too much time. I need to pump the brakes sometimes. I'm having such good fun with that. Could you break down what the hierarchy of military is and what different ranks mean? I was never in the military, so I don't know how it is structured. There's a lot of different militaries and a lot of different branches and a lot of different ranks, so I guess Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo is your friend to look that up. Yeah, sergeant outranks private, and then there's general above that, and there's a lot of other ranks in between. And then the Air Force, and I don't even know if the Space Force has ranks. I assume they do.
The Air Force has got one that's called Tech Sergeant. What the fuck does that mean?
And does Tech Sergeant 2 outrank Tech Sergeant 1?
I don't know!
Why are you asking us what the ranks are? We don't know, we're ignorant.
There was the rank of, the U.S. Army had the rank of E8, which was Master Sergeant, but they had to get rid of it when they started taking MSG out of everything.
They took out Master Gunnery Sergeant.
Yeah, they took out Master Sergeant because it was an MSG.
And they keep on shuffling the ranks around. Like, some ranks don't even exist anymore. So, like, it's hard to keep up with that. Are there any specific funny thoughts or things that live rent-free in both of y'all's heads? I don't know if there's anything that we share between the two of us living in our heads. There are plenty of things that live rent-free in our heads. Things that we watch or consume in the media just live in the back. They just pop into the forefront at random times.
Yeah.
I looked at this question earlier and I thought, I can't think of anything specific other than maybe random 80s music. And then, like, the moment I thought that, I had random 80s music just looping in my head. It's still going. It's still in the back of my head. I got Barracuda and Blondie, One Way, Oh Right Now. All this stuff is just looping now because you asked me that question.
That's not what they meant, though.
Isn't it, though?
I think they mean, like, memes of, like, the let me in meme.
Memes live.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things that are in there, but, like, I can't think of them.
Yeah, they're not sorted or anything. I can't extract them. They're in there.
I can't think of them until, like, the thing comes up for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, can you not answer this question?
And that was the Q&A for Patreon in January. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for everyone who supports us. We really appreciate that.
We really do. And if you want to ask us questions,
Buddy Chicken Tier.
If you want to ask us questions next month, make sure you join at Buddy Chicken Tier or higher, and then you can ask us any more questions that you might have about,
everything, really.
Anything.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.